Welcome to another edition of Office Hours with State Representative John Hampton. And I'm John Hampton, your state representative. So delighted to welcome you to a very special episode with a very special guest, a visionary leader with a great mind, a big heart, and a true drive for excellence for leadership in the town of Simsbury. I'm so delighted to welcome Simsbury's first select woman, Wendy McStudis, to the state capitol.
Thank you. Nice to see you, John. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for being on the show. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. Thanks for all of your hard work on behalf of our community. It's hard to imagine. Will be a year in November that you were elected. Mm-hmm. And when growing up in Bloomfield, did you ever imagine that you would be in politics or first selectman of a municipality?
No, never crossed my mind. I graduated in the 70s, went to college. I ended up dropping out of college. Then I finished while working full-time at the Travelers in IT. Ended up raising a family in Simsbury. Got very involved in what was going on in the country in 2016, 15, and 16, and started volunteering for local politicians. And then there was an opening on the Board of Selectmen for which I ran. And here I am today. Got to run for my second term as first selectman. So
talk about what happened in 2016. Is you just really got inspired and triggered, if you will, to get engaged.
Yeah,
what was happening at the national level?
Yes, what was happening at the national level. I really didn't follow politics at all before that. And it just really forced me to follow, I followed it daily and was very obsessed about what was going on. And then volunteered here there was a March for Our Lives at the Capitol. Chris Murphy and Richard Blumenthal came, and I came to that. I signed up for some things. I got called by Murphy's Fight Back Connecticut campaign in 2018. And I did some volunteering there. And then I ended up volunteering when Mary Glassman was running for Congress and then was primaried. Did a little work for Melissa at the time. And then found out there was an opening on the Board of Selectmen at an open house that the Democrats had in town. And I ran and won.
How was your first term as a selectman?
It was very weird because it was COVID. So I got into office November of 2019. And then in 2020, there was the grumblings of the virus, right? And then by March, I remember sitting in my last meeting, which was a Board of Finance meeting, where the chairs were, we were socially distanced. It was the first time. And that was the last public meeting I had until I don't even remember when we came back in person. We came back in person, I believe, last year for a while. And then we kind of went back to remote. And now we're back. We're doing hybrid meetings all the time, which is really good because you can get people who can't make it in person.
Now, you moved quickly to run for first selectman. How did that occur?
So Eric Wellman, who was the first selectman, came to me last year. It was in January. And he said that because of his work and, he had a young family, he was going to not run for first selectman. He asked me if I would be interested. I thought about it and I thought I was the best person to do it. So I stepped up and ran and won.
And you worked hard. You did a lot of doors.
I did a lot of door knocking. Yep. I had a good team to help me.
Yep.
In town, a lot of the Democrats in town really stood behind me. Past first selectman, Lisa Hebner, was very helpful. And Karen Cortez, our registrar of voters, and Akish Kaza, who helped with the data strategy. And of course, you helped me do some door knocking out there too. We did a lot of doors. And I knew a lot of people in Simsbury because I raised my family there. I was involved in sports. I was on the hockey board. I was a PTO member, room parent. So I did have a lot of people that were familiar with me in town.
Do you like to campaign?
Not necessarily. I don't really love it.
No.
No, it's not something I'm looking forward to doing again. So, yeah, I mean, once you're out there, it's fun, right? Like talking to people, but the whole thought of fundraising and, giving up all your free time really to get out there and do it, it's kind of it's a challenge. Once you do it, I'm good to go, but I know you love doing it.
Yeah, I'll do it with you.
Okay.
So Simsbury changed from a first selectman, board of selectmen form of government. We had charter revision, and we changed to a town manager.
Yep.
So how's the position changed from the last regular first selectman, if you will? Lisa Hevener was out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how's the position changed?
Well, it's I don't know what it was like before because I wasn't there, right? But the first selectman was the chief elected and the chief executive officer, so had the capacity to make decisions, to have people report to them. All the town department heads reported to the first selectman. Now all those people report into our town manager. And the Board of Selectmen is really a team of 6 that sets policy and directs. Well, not directs. We're not supposed to direct according to our charter. We really, set the policy and lead the town to do and implement our policy and do what we feel is best in the best interests of the residents. So it's it's hard to navigate, in my opinion. I work well with Maria Capriola, who's our town manager, and I really like our town staff. But I can't say that it's easy to kind of distinguish the roles. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to make sure I understand and clarify, where those roles are. But I feel like I am the voice and the representation of all the residents and businesses and people, and they can reach out to me and I can share, or we can bring it back to the board and to the town.
What has your experience been like as first selectman? What has surprised you? Maybe what's been pleasant about it, different?
Well, I've always been kind of a leader person, bossy, and I like people to, I take control of a situation a lot more than if somebody doesn't step up, I'll step up. So I like being able to do that in this role, and also trying to collaborate with the people on our team, our selectmen team, we have the Board of Finance team, we have the zoning team, and to reach out and talk to people to kind of get to kind of build consensus with people. So I like that in that, kind of in the leadership position. I also like having really more access to our town manager to really know what's going on more in the town departments and staff, maybe more than I did as a selectman. So those are the kind of things. I do like chairing the meetings. I wasn't sure I would like that, but I do. I think I've been doing okay of a job. So I think I'm going down. I think I've answered that question. I'm not sure if I finished my thought there, but.
What's the current makeup of the board? So
it's a 4-2 board.
Okay.
So we have 4 Democrats, 2 Republicans. I honestly don't see, none of the national level stuff translates into the local level. I never really think of the other members of my board as being Democrat or Republican, because depending on the issue or the topic, I feel like I work well with all of them. And I don't see the national politics coming in, which is great.
Yeah, that is great.
Yeah, we don't want that.
What were some of your initial goals or initiatives, if you will, when you came in?
Well, when I came in, the big topic was the American Rescue Plan Act funding.
Money.
The ARPA Act. So as a selectman, Sean Askham and I had a work group where we started looking at the money and what we could do with it. And it really was like very hard to deal with because it was so much money and you could pretty much do anything within reason, within the laws. And at that point, we were following the interim final rule, which was defined, and it was very kind of strict. So we had to kind of navigate that. And then it really kind of kept me up because I felt like that was the biggest thing hovering over our board, is how were we going to spend $7.5 million. Then when the final rule came out in January, it allowed any town that got under $10 million that you could use it as revenue loss, which basically you can just push it into your budget as funding money. But we made the decision to stick with, the ARPA guidelines, and the sense of what ARPA was for was recovery and to benefit the town. And then at that point, we had a finance subcommittee that was unused. It was just a group, and I put myself as the lead, Amber Abuel, who's a Democrat, and Heather Getz, who's a Republican. They're both new board members. I asked them to be members on the finance subcommittee, and that we would take up the ARPA discussions to get rid of the work group and kind of bring it to this group, to start this group. And what we realized was, and we all came to consensus, with the town staff and also with, weigh in from our Board of Finance chair, was one of the best ways to deal with this funding would be through the budget process, so that we could weigh all the priorities together. We had another pool of money, and that we could do it so it was transparent to everybody, because everybody has to vote at referendum on the budget. And once we made that decision and started working towards that path, I wasn't as stressed out about how we were going to spend the money, because it made it really easy to justify how we were doing it. We did do some side projects with that money. We're working on a 501c3 program, a grant program. We are giving some money to the Housing Authority. And we're also looking at a business program with some funding. But otherwise, I'm hoping that we can use the next tranche of money that we're getting for the next budget cycle, unless there's an opportunity that comes around or a real need that we don't want to hurt our taxpayers with. So the beauty of it being part of the budget was everybody in town benefits from it, because you're not getting, it's not going to use taxpayer dollars, right? So, and we did some good projects for the town.
What was the budget process like for you?
Oh, so I did 2 budget cycles as a selectman, right? The first one, I really, as you would know, it's really hard to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. I'd never done a budget before. Okay, so the budget process. So my first year on the Board of Selectmen, it was really hard to follow, because I had never done a budget like that before. So I tried to keep up and make the best decisions I could. My second year, I kind of got into the swing of it and questioned a lot more and asked why we didn't do certain things in certain ways, why we funded something with this bucket or this bucket. And that made it, I started to get the hang of it. So this year I really looked forward to doing the budget. I really felt that it went really well, because there was a lot of things that we did, a couple that were, so the town manager presents her budget to us, right? She meets with the department heads and then brings to the board her recommendations. One of the things that we did, and we all collaborated and voted for, was, her budget had asked for 1 police officer, but the police commission had really been trying to staff up the police department. And so I brought forth the idea to add another police officer, which was supported by the board. And it really gave them more staff to work with. And also they were facing a lot of retirement, so we were kind of hedging our bets there. And we also are funding a work study to see what the staffing needs are for them. So I felt really good about that. And we got that passed. And again, there was no mill rate increase. And the reason being, we had a large grand list growth because of the motor vehicle valuations, right? So that helped. It was like $3+ million. That was over, I think, where we got. And then we had the ARPA funding to pay for some of the capital projects that we would have used other funds for. So in my opinion, that made things very easy, because there was so much influx of cash. There was no mill rate increase. And I actually really enjoyed the budget cycle this year. I feel like I can't wait for next year's. So.
Yeah, good for you. No, it was great budget process and very transparent. And, that's another great thing about you, is how transparent you are and open. I know you have office hours, and you go to a lot of events, as I
do. Yeah.
And you enjoy that.
Yep.
The working with constituents and probably addressing constituent calls and concerns. And I know you give your cell phone out to everybody and email, and that's important. How has that been?
Well, that's been good, but you that's how you operate. So I kind of took a lead from you, because you share some feedback that you've gotten from constituents, and I say, well, I'll take them, because
Sure.
we have the same constituents, which is great, right? And you always introduce me to everybody that's out there, so I know people.
And sometimes I'll get a call that's town related, and you'll get a call that's state related.
Yes.
But what's also been great is that you've been very engaged in the state, legislative process, which is important to have a chief executive who's engaged in. I know we're texting or calling or emailing each other at least once a week about what's going on at the state capitol, and I know you take part of CCM.
Yes,
correct.
Yeah. So I was going to say. So I just earned my CCMO. It's the Certified Connecticut Municipal Official. CCM started this program about 4 years ago, and they have all these meetings, webinars, and things like that anybody could go to. But in order to get the certification, you have to earn a certain number of credits. So last summer I signed up for it, and I had till 2023 to earn my credits. Of course, I did it in a year. Let me brag.
Good for you.
And then at the convention, which I went to last year, at the CCM convention, which I thought was great, and I saw the governor there, and I met some people. They award. You get your awards. So next year I get to go up on the stage and get whatever it is I get for doing that. But I really like the CCM.
What's it stand for? Tell people at home.
I think it's Connecticut Certified Municipal Official. Or Certified Connecticut.
CCM stands for Connecticut Conference of Municipalities.
Yes, you're correct.
The coalition.
Yes. Yeah, we're there. Actually, the definition of that is to get the leaders, town managers in every town to stand up and push what we want you guys to do, right? Because I didn't really realize that.
Sure.
And they'll try to rally support for certain issues that may impact a lot of the communities, to tell us about hearings that are going on, or to make, push back on some things that the legislature might want. And the other group that we are involved with, I just went to the annual meeting was for the Capital Region CROG, Capital Region Council of Governments, which we call the CROG. And Aaron Stewart is the chair, and Sherry Cantor is vice chair of that. It's run by Matt Hart.
That's right.
So that was really good. And I actually met with Luke Bronin a couple weeks ago, mutual friend, got me in because he is the chair of CCM.
Yep.
So I was asking him how I could kind of get more involved in that, because I kind of like the big picture. I like meeting the other leaders across the state.
Sure.
Because you see what's going on.
If you learn
can't
a lot.
You do, yeah.
From others' experiences and lessons learned. And good ideas that you can borrow.
Yeah, and in local, I've met with Bob Bessel from Canton. He's a really nice guy. You know him. Yep. And I've talked to Sherry Cantor a few times. She's hard to pin down because they're so busy. And Dan Paul Hammis is now he got elected when I did, as the chair of the Avon Town Council.
Yep.
So, and I actually met Erin Stewart at the CROG luncheon, because I always see her on the CROG meetings, and she's so vibrant. So I got to meet her in person and say hi. I enjoy that stuff too.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. What's a typical day like for you? Or is there a typical day?
There is no typical day. So today I was watching the hearings to catch up. And then I was coming here, but Monday would have been a normal day where I work part-time as an IT director for a small company. I would have worked, but U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal was coming to town to award our PD $70,000 of congressional funding. So that was my day, was getting ready to go down. And it was the first time that I got to introduce a U.S. Senator as the first selectman. So that was really fun. And we had a nice little turnout, and he was great. He was just really socially talked to all of us, for a long time.
Yeah, Absolutely.
I try to do office hours. I was doing them 2 days a week, going into my office. Somehow that's been difficult. I'm trying to at least go in every Thursday afternoon. So I'm there. Nobody seems to come. Anybody, I put it on my page, but you could call me or text me and come see me. And, you know, with the summer, it's probably going to be difficult to have like regular hours, but I try to post them on my town page that when I'll be in there.
We'll put up a link to your email, the town website, and your cell phone, so people can. The town website is great to navigate, as you know, for all sorts of information.
Yeah.
And folks can still participate in board meetings in person or in Zoom, correct?
Yeah. So we've been meeting in person, and we are doing the hybrid. We have an owl. I don't know and so it's just a really cool technology that will zero in on who's talking, and it connects to Zoom. We have SCTV come out. So it allows, if a selectman is out of town, you know, wants to call into a meeting and not miss a meeting, we can do that. We have town staff will sometimes call in. So I think it's working out really well, that it gives us just a great option. I like being a person, of course, but if I couldn't make it, I would do it. But yes, we are in person. We take public audience. Everyone could have up to 5 minutes. We strictly adhere to our timing.
Do you get much email and letters and?
I don't get a lot. You know, if there's a hot topic, we'll get emails from people. We don't get a lot of public audience unless it's a topic that is really, hitting people. There hasn't really been, a large influx recently of people that have come to public audience or sent emails. But, I respond to them. If I can't respond to them, I forward it to our town manager or, to her to put out to a department head. Or if it's for you, it goes to you and, Jason. And I try to include Senator Wickos too, when we have stuff that we need both elected Capitol leaders.
Now, do you have any ambitious agenda item that you really want to see that's kind of a dream of yours or a priority that you'd like to see come to fruition? Well,
I mean, everybody wants a walkable downtown with a lot to do, places to go. That's when I ran the first time, that was something I always said, is that, we want people to stay in Simsbury, and it just, like people that are, my age, whose kids have all moved off, to stay in town. And because people are leaving, people move. And that was a goal, is to try to keep myself here. I don't have no plans to leave, but my friends to stay in town. And the more that there is, downtown to do, grab a coffee, go to this shop. We have the Performing Arts Center. What we're doing now is the pandemic clarified the need for recreation, right? So we have so many recreation opportunities. We have our Flower Bridge, which is a huge draw, right? The trail, which we just, the bike trail, the walking trails. Actually, you were part of the discussion to expand the bike trail through Terriffill.
Yep, working on that.
Yep, and we got $300,000 funded through our budget this year using ARPA funds to explore the area from Simsbury proper to Terriffill Park, which is a big piece. We can't upset the river, so there's a lot of conversations that have to happen there, but that would be huge for us, right?
Yeah. Simsbury Farms.
The Farms has I guess it all falls back to the budget priorities, and that they're enhancing what we have in our community. Our golf course, right, is to me, that's one of the gems in town.
Sure.
The Pack is one of the gems in town, the Flower Bridge. Those are all things that the access to the river, we saw how much people were out there kayaking and in the river during the pandemic. So those are all things that will keep people here and happy and draw younger people to town.
And, and bring in tourists and economic development.
Yeah, we've got new restaurants in town.
Yeah, there are a lot of restaurants.
Yeah, there's a lot of good places to eat.
Yeah. And I know you're very involved and engaged in the business community, very supportive.
Yeah. So like I work really well with Sarah Nielsen from the Main Street Partnership.
Yep.
I know I go to all the ribbon cuttings with the chamber. So I know a lot of the chamber members. I've known them even from before I was on the board. A lot of them are from my past. So I try to stay involved there and listen to what they have to say.
Yep. And are you liaison to other committees? I know selectmen are liaisons to other committees.
Yeah. So the first selectman is normally is the chair of the personnel subcommittee. So that I'm doing that. And I was lucky enough to be on it for my first 2 years. I worked with Eric and Sean. So I had the experience from that. So I'm chair of that. The finance subcommittee, we're starting back up. What else? Open space. That's normally the first selectman. So I'm learning about open space. And we did give some money to one of the open space initiatives in this year's budget with ARPA funds. What else do? I try to sit in on public safety because I think that's really important. And Sean Askham is the chair. Chris Peterson serves on that committee, but I like to listen in. They met weekly during the pandemic, or I think they met weekly during the pandemic or biweekly, and it was really informative to know what was going on across all the, service, the volunteer ambulance, the business, the fire, police, the schools, to hear what was going on. So I try to sit in on those too to see what's going on.
Good. How often does the Board of Selectmen meet?
We meet the second and fourth Monday of the month.
What time?
We meet at 6:00 at Town Hall.
Okay.
We do not have a meeting in the end of June because we have a lot of people away on vacation, but our next meeting is July 11th.
Okay. And the term is a 2-year term?
2-year term, which is hard because next year you have to already, as you know.
Yeah, 2 years goes very quickly.
It's too short. It's really because, I'm not ready to run again next year. I'd rather just keep going, and have that out there, in the horizon, but not, it's just next year.
But as you meet incredible people, and we do have a great community and very engaged community, and you learn a lot from talking to people at their door. And
that's the best. I mean, it gives you an excuse, as you know, to just go up to people, say that you don't know. Hi, I'm the first selectman. Hi, I'm your state rep. What's going on? What do you want to talk about? And it's really it's an in to talk to anybody.
Yeah. And are there any big events coming up this summer that you want folks to know about in town? Simsbury Performing Arts.
Well, the Talcott Mountain
Music Festival.
Yeah, There's some really good shows.
Yep.
I just bid on a table
great.
at the Simsbury Granbury Rotary Golf Tournament, so I have that coming up. And there's some good concerts. I can't really think of, I think the Farms is doing some like family sports days. Mm-hmm. And I know the golf course has couples tournaments and other tournaments going on. I joined the Simsbury Farms Women's 9-hole Golf League again this summer. I'm not very good, but I'm playing golf again.
And we have a great library, as you know.
Oh, the library's amazing.
There's something going on.
And, they just had the Juneteenth event.
Yeah.
Sunday was amazing. It was really good.
We just have a really wonderful, vibrant community that we're fortunate to live in. But we're really fortunate to have you at the helm as first selectman. And I just wanted to give folks an opportunity to get to know you better. I'm sure they've already met you because you're everywhere and you're doing a great job. And I know you'll continue to do so. And I've just enjoyed working with you immensely. But we will give people your contact info. So
okay.
I know you want to hear from folks and talk to folks. And it's just been great to catch up with you and have a little visit. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
We'll miss you, John.
Thank you so much.
The Simsbury will miss John Hampton.
I won't go far. And thank you, everyone, for joining us on this special episode of Office Hours with State Representative John Hampton. Take care.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.